Hey Paul, how are you? Nice
Very
to see you. We are here in Kuala Lumpur today. We have been in Singapore over the weekend, and you are running a startup building factory in Liverpool, right? That specializes in building very early stage startups. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah. Thanks for inviting me here. It's a great place. We've enjoyed ourselves. We've said in Kuala Lumpur and Singapore. I think in Liverpool we have something called a co-foundry, something similar to a factory. But what we do, what we make, what we manufacture are startups. And those startups are made from ideas and people. And that's where we really concentrate on what we're trying to do. We're trying to look at the problems worth solving, and those problems need to be examined by subject matter experts, not necessarily entrepreneurs. So this has been fairly successful in the UK, and Nova has expanded quite rapidly. And our thoughts now are we need to put this into an international setting. So I'm here in Kuala Lumpur this week. I've been here a couple of times before, really looking for, are there ideas here worth solving? Is the market the same here as it is in the UK? And if so, where do we go to next? So that's really what the purpose of the business is.
So this week, a few days ago, Antler, which is a startup incubator, announced that they raised $50 million in Singapore. They also had a big presentation of all the startups that were selected for the third cohort in Singapore, right? How is Nova different from incubators such as Antler, Entrepreneur First, and many others that we have here in Singapore or in Kuala Lumpur?
Well, that's an interesting question, actually. How do we differentiate ourselves from incubators and from accelerators? We effectively look for people to be outside of the building. Nova provide most of the thought and the execution of a startup. So the founder and Nova are effectively co-founders, hence we call it co-founding. So our view, unlike Antler's, is that we need to identify the problem very early on with a person who's a subject matter expert and give that person the least risk associated with driving that idea or that problem through to a startup or to a company. So we're different from them because we don't necessarily want what you would call entrepreneurs. We want our founders to actually be involved in the process early on. We want them to understand, articulate a problem, and then help us to drive that problem through to a startup. Antler or Entrepreneur First, any of those organizations actually are committed to a person and a team and driving that forward. We're not. We're committed to the idea.
So the kind of people that we are looking for is not the typical stereotype of entrepreneurs who are 20, 25, who are very driven. We are looking for people who are probably older, who are subject matter experts in their topic, right?
Yeah.
And who know everything about a particular problem. Is that correct?
It is. By definition, those people are usually older. I'm not dismissing the fact that we could have a young guy who knows everything about a new digital environment and he's identified a problem or she's identified a problem. That would not preclude us from investing in that person or that problem. But most of the people that come to our program are between 26, 27 and 45. They're people who would probably not give up their existing career to pursue this problem. But the people who, if you give them that opportunity, will actually be very good at solving that problem and driving that company forward. So that's the typical sort of profile of what we call a founder or a problem originator.
And after these 2 weeks you have been in Kuala Lumpur and in Singapore, what are the big trends, the big ideas or the big directions that you are seeing in this market?
Well, we've treated this market as a startup, so we've done the same thing we would do problem originators, done some experiments around, are there problems here worth solving? Are there people who are willing to articulate those problems? And are those people willing to go on the journey with us? So over the last week or 10 days, we've interviewed probably 10 or 15 of those people. They are the type of people that we want. So we validated the fact that there are problem originators here that will go on the journey with us. So that's one part of the market. The other part of the market is we need to fund those startups. We're looking at two sets of people that we're looking at here to examine. A, the problem originators, and B, whether there is a funding pot here which can follow that. And I'm glad to say we've had some really good results on both of those sides of the market, and I'm very much looking forward to driving this to the next level. But think of it as an experiment to open a new co-founding, because that's what we do with all our businesses. We experiment and we'll fail it if it doesn't work, and if it works, we'll iterate and drive it to a conclusion. So that's really what we've done this week. We're seeing some big trends in things like, that we're not seeing in the UK right now. Islamic finance, health tech, big insurance and fintech ideas here. So those are the ones that we're seeing, but that's not to preclude any other markets. It's very much an open ball game.
And the other thing that I have seen that typically surprises people when they first learn about Nova is that this is really early stage, right? This is vapor stage.
That's what we call ourselves, VCs, venture capitalists. We're investing in ideas well before they come to market. Our first really success factor is going to Series A. So, and those ideas are plentiful. There's no limit to the amount of people, if you gave them the opportunity, would actually explore a problem which let them explore it with little risk. And I think that's the key to the model.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Paul. It has been a pleasure to be with you, and I hope to see you soon again in Kuala Lumpur and in Singapore.
I hope you do as well.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Bye-bye.